Hi guys, it's me, Citrus. Today, I will be reacting to a video by Mr. Headcanon on why Marvel fell after Endgame. For me, I remember growing up watching the MCU movies, since some of the early movies weren't heavily available where I was born, and also there was the fact that I was able to watch the Avengers for the first time in theaters here in the US. One time during middle school, I remember my stepdad buying me a pirated version of Iron Man 3, but sadly I let a friend borrow it, which I haven't, which is since I haven't got it since then. Watching this might give us an idea on why the MCU have gone downhill since 2019. Let's enjoy and see why.
The era of the MCU didn't live up to the expectations in terms of reviews, audience acceptance, and box office results. There were exceptions like No Way Home, Loki, and possibly Deadpool and Wolverine.
I think No Way Home was probably No Way Home and Deadpool and Wolverine. They were probably popular due to some of the actors coming back. Because I think if I remember when the No Way Home was on the way, there were comments of Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire were gonna be coming back, which that probably excited a lot of people. Which I think it was a really bad lie when they told at that time. And also I think Deadpool was probably really popular due to third movie, due to the first and second movie, and also Hugh Jackman coming back for.
But in general, we can say that Marvel's plan for phases 4 and 5 did not work. This wasn't by accident, and superhero fatigue had nothing to do with it. Liar. Today in
Yeah, superhero, I think for me, in my opinion, superhero fatigue, it was a lie made just to say, oh, this is, it's because there's too many superhero movies. As I think, if I remember, there were a lot of superhero related content coming out during the same time. I think there was Invisible, The Boys, and I think there were also a couple Heroes Venom versus that was coming I think there was also one show on Netflix that it appeared for a season, and then it got canceled right, and it's some of the heroes you probably never even heard of. So yeah, it was probably background thing at the same time. And I think it's probably they saw the success of Marvel and they're yeah, let's get into it.
Mr. Headcanon, I'm going to tell you the 4 reasons why Marvel fell after Endgame. Seeing the success of Infinity War and Endgame, Marvel believed they had won the audience over. They thought people would continue watching their projects even if their quality was questionable or if those projects featured 4th-tier characters. That's the only explanation for greenlighting an Echo show or an Ironheart show.
Yeah, I think I'm Echo, I don't know why they greenlight it, just I don't know, who even knows Echo? If you have a side character, yeah, that would make sense. But main character, yeah, you're not gonna get those people. I think Ironheart, I think that was probably well, we don't know about the show just right now, cause this in development, and possibly, wait, is it still on development? Yeah, so it's coming up. So I don't know if it's gonna be if it's gonna be successful or not. Cause I think the character wasn't like even popular enough in the comics. We'll see. And I think Agatha, I don't know why they actually greenlight this, because the whole thing was like literally a meme. Like people were like, they had the song that by the end of the One Division, they were like, oh, it was all Agatha all along. And then like, they were like, oh yeah, let's greenlight. So that's probably like, I mean, if you like the show, that's fine. But it's like, this is something that nobody technically asked for. It was all like because a meme got popular on the internet.
Or an Agatha show, or a Wonder Man series, or a White Vision series. No.
Okay, White Vision. Oh, so Wonder Man. So I don't know how it's gonna do. Probably it's gonna be the same as Moon Knight. Probably like obscure character is probably gonna appear on Disney Plus. Like White Vision. That's probably like something that gonna appear like, I don't know if anyone like, it's probably gonna I think probably it's gonna be like a sequel to WandaVision. So like, who knows? That's just my opinion.
No one was interested in watching Echo on Disney Plus, and I'm sure the same can be said about all the other projects. Maybe they end up being good, but they don't generate any excitement whatsoever.
I'm not gonna watch it.
In MCU, The Reign of Marvel Studios, Joanna Robinson explained that Marvel executives were convinced that Quantumania would be a success, and they were surprised.
Yeah, like I think the problem with, in my opinion, I think they should at least make Mara the bad guy instead of a goofy psychic that appear. Just like, and then like you could have just like they could have just say, oh, can be this, and like not show him at all. Cause like now, I think probably like, yes, I think the reason like they cancel Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars, that was probably like due to like the allegations with the actor. But I think that it kind of sorrow like the thing with the character. Like for example, like if we have like in Ace of Ultron, Thanos appear as the bad guy, everybody will be like, not that silent face appears again in Infinity War, cause like oh, we already took care of this guy, so he's not much of a threat. So like, yeah, I think they can push it. What can? Cause like, I think in the mind was probably like, oh, let's just have a King character as like something that everyone's gonna be excited. Or like in the future, like, oh, but it's like basically all you're doing is like, oh, there's like multiple cans, so it's like, that kind of drops the hype around there.
Surprised when it flopped at the box office and audiences didn't like it. I don't think Quantumania is the worst superhero movie ever, as some say, and it.
So I actually watched Quantumania, and I did enjoy the movie. Like, yeah, it wasn't that bad, but it wasn't like the best one. Which I think like probably like it was. I don't think it's a really good movie like to start like a phase. But like that's the thing about Batman movies. They're not like the best ones. It's like they're just like filler episodes like in a show. So yeah.
It could have grossed more than $470 million, but there was no way it would be an absolute hit, with people leaving the cinema saying, this is the best superhero movie I've ever seen. If Marvel executives thought that would happen, it's because they underestimated the audience. They thought we would swallow anything after the Infinity Saga, and that's not the case. If anything, superhero movie fans became more demanding after Endgame.
All I'm asking for is
Yeah, I think Endgame kind of basically rose up the high, cause like how like you basically, cause like now after Endgame you have to ask yourself, oh, what's gonna happen? What's gonna be next? Like what's gonna be the next big thing? Are we gonna have like Secret Wars, Secret Invasion, Armor War, and now it's just like all those big things. Some of them probably have been like just like TV shows are like doesn't bow to anything.
Total perfection.
One of the main differences between the MCU and the DCU was organization. Marvel Studios always had a figure in charge, one producer crafting one story through.
So I think there's this problem, like, I think this is something that a lot of people say, but it's like, it's kinda like, I kinda agree with, it kinda makes sense, cause like, most of the movies are like, you only have like Kevin Feige on the top, and like, where they could at least have like multiple people. So
Through all the projects and deciding which project was greenlit and which wasn't. They took their time, introducing several characters separately before bringing them together in big events. But after Endgame, that changed. By doubling the number of projects, it was impossible for one person to oversee all of them.
yeah, like you cannot just have like one dude or one person like just basically oversee like a bunch of like movie, cause I think like if I remember before like uh Endgame, there was like 3 movies a year, and now it's basically like 3 movies and a couple like TV shows around the same time. So it's like you're putting out too much stuff, and it's like, oh, like you're probably giving like a lot of stuff to like one guy. Like you put,
And what's worse, the MCU's narrative fell apart.
What does that mean?
Shortly after Doctor Strange 2 premiered, Elizabeth Olsen said that she would have liked WandaVision and Multiverse of Madness to connect better, but that was impossible because Doctor Strange started filming while WandaVision was still in production. Sam Raimi and Michael Waldron had no way of respecting what happened.
I think that's also a kind of thing, like, cause I think the thing like about the TV shows, like the what, like WandaVision, like I think that was also kind of issue. Like for example, like let's say you're gonna watch, you decide to like you watch all the movies and not the TV show, and then you go to like watch WandaVision, and then like you go out there like no, I mean you're gonna watch and that's just saying multiple madness, and then you go, they're gonna be like all confused, like, hey, what? Why is this all this like this? And so it's gonna be like, oh, you have to watch WandaVision. Like, what? Yeah, it's gonna be like, when you have like a lot of shows, now it's gonna be like, which one is actually important to the whole loop, to like the thing that will make sense. Like, okay, is this important to the main story, to this overall story, or not?
WandaVision, because they didn't even know how that series would end, and it gets worse. Jack Schaefer, WandaVision's screenwriter, admitted he didn't even know what would happen in the last episode. They decided the ending while filming because Marvel didn't follow the classic procedure for making series. There were no showrunners, no Bibles with key content.
Yeah, I think like there was a problem like with the TV shows, cause like they have been making like for a while the movies, and now all of a sudden they decide like, oh, like let's just make a TV show, and you're gonna be like, I think like the same people call it, huh? Just like, if I remember, like TV shows are like different than movies, and like they were like differently. So like that was probably like issue that they had there. So like basically like so I think they should at least done like wrote the whole season first, like roll every episode, and they like at least have like a way like how it's gonna end. Because like if you like, I think this is often like most writers do, like either a TV show or movie. Like I think I mean like in a short format, not like sitcom shows. Like at least have like a where the story's going, so like you could know what's gonna be like next. So yeah, that was
concepts.
proud.
And they didn't even review the scripts before starting to film. Moon Knight's writer left halfway through the series.
Well, I didn't know that. I think Moon Knight is from like a show that I might have to watch. Like I don't feel like giving this thing money, but like I'm probably like buy so like just to watch it. Maybe it's good. I don't know. Maybe some people like it. But yeah, I probably have to check for myself. So I don't have a lot of opinion on it.
They had to throw away everything they'd filmed for Daredevil Born Again because they realized halfway through filming that the series wasn't good enough.
This is heavy.
I'm surprised Moon Knight and Loki turned out well, because this level of disorganization reminds me a lot of what happened with the old DCU, and we know how that ended. Yeah, I know the world has returned to normal, but phases 4 and 5 were affected by the apocalypse. There were schedule changes, like releasing No Way Home before Doctor Strange.
Yeah, I think the pandemic probably have like a. Me, I actually think the pandemic only had like. This is just my opinion, but it probably like did like damage between like 2020 to 2022, 23, 23. But like right after that, that's probably like there's no excuse. Or like all is declined right now. Because I think like if I remember like there was yeah, it felt like a long time, like basically like to watch the like the latest movie. And probably like I think like some people might say like it was a pandemic, but I think like it was like if I remember people will likely watch a movie no matter how bad it is outside. And the movies get like person look at like Spider-Man No Way Home, like yeah, it was during the pandemic, and like it got like a lot of numbers. So maybe that is something like, oh, like maybe it's not just because I think like if I remember like a lot of people where you say, oh, it's a pandemic, like no, yeah, there's a bit of truth for that, but it's also the fact that your movie sucks. Okay, you didn't write good movies.
2, something that affected the story of both films.
Prove it.
Did you find it convenient that Ned learned magic out of nowhere? The original plan was for America Chavez to summon Andrew and Toby's Spider-Man, but after swapping.
Okay, that kind of makes sense. Yeah, like how do you think like when I watched it, I was like, wait, why is Ned like using the like the way, like why is he like the one summoning them? But like in a way, it kind of makes sense. But the script is like he's looking for Spider-Man and summoning like other Spider-Man.
Swapping release dates, that couldn't happen because America would show up first in Doctor Strange 2. I'm sure that if Doctor Strange had come out.
Okay, so like if Doctor Strange 2 were like to happy first, then like you would have to explain like, oh, why is more America Chavez like in Spider-Man No Way Home. So like maybe they probably have a good plan. maybe they just like, oh, we were gonna have a America Chavez appear, which I don't know if it was gonna be a good idea or not. But I think like the way it came out, this is just my opinion, but the way it came out and like how it came out now makes more sense than America Chavez probably appearing and Spider-Man No Way Home, like just for nothing. Or like, well, maybe there was a reason, like, who knows? This is just my opinion.
Out before No Way Home, the reception of Multiverse of Madness would have been much better. We wouldn't have seen the Spider-Verse on live action yet, so expectations wouldn't be so high. And Doctor Strange...
Yeah, I think there was something that I found like really weird. It's like, yeah, like really, if okay, this is just my opinion. I did not like how we got introduced to like characters like Mr. Fantastic and Deadpool basically like appear out of nowhere, like appear first sign in the MCU, and then like right instantly kill them, and then have like two characters who probably like we already seen like last longer. So like, I think when they should at least have give them like a bit of the same way they think would get with the girls, do it like with the guys too. Cause like I found it weird that Mr. Fantastic like he's like the smallest person, and then like he gets shot into the trains. Like hey, like you could at least have him fight or appear and do something, not just like hey guys, boo and destroy. It's like why is it that Blackpool, like, if you never read any comics or like you never seen that probably forgotten show, in US TV show, you probably don't know how it's work. But like, yeah, for his power, you only get like a one small scene. But here, yeah, it's no man. Let's blow his brain. So like, it would have been nice if they gave him like more time to show his power. I think him rather than like just blow his head off. Like it's nothing, cause like if you blow one guy's head off like by just removing his mouth, and the other one just like the other guy making into string keys, then you could at least do something similar to like to the other ones, but no, like you have a battle scene where two characters and the other two are like just like basically pulverized out of nowhere. Well, that's just my opinion, so like yeah. That's what I think.
Change might have passed 1 billion, and there's much more. All movies filmed during the pandemic had to follow protocols due to the virus, so budgets skyrocketed. An average movie like Quantumania ended up costing $200 million. To top it off,
I think it was probably due to like them like not having like a big plan. Cause like they were like let's have like a big budget to a movie, and then like, cause let me like give it that like a big budget, and then like at least what was I gonna say? Yeah, like give them like a big budget, and then like after that like ratio, cause I think that's what probably like raise the price of the budget, like make costing a lot more money, so they could at least like plan it out better. But who knows? I think like there's some stuff you cannot like decide or like as I can go. But yeah, that's
Actors
what I
couldn't
think.
travel freely between countries due to restrictions, which affected filming. Thomas Hayden Church and Rhys Ifans couldn't even be on the No Way Home set, so Marvel
Yeah, that's
had to
probably
use recycled scenes from previous movies. The Illuminati and Doctor Strange didn't see eye to eye at any moment because all the actors filmed their scenes at different times, so their appearances were brief. There were plans to include Tom Holland's Spider-Man in Multiverse of Madness, but they couldn't because of the restrictions. I'm sure you didn't like this and this and this. This decline in Marvel's visual effects was a problem.
okay.
I'm sure you didn't like this and this and this.
Okay, I think that was problem bad, really bad CGI. Like, cause like there's stuff that like looks like really good in the past, but now it's just like all crappy. So like they could at least make it look better, but like yeah.
This decline in Marvel's visual effects was a product of the pandemic. Too many scenes were filmed with green screens because they couldn't go out or actors couldn't travel to the set. And when restrictions lifted, Hollywood studios had too many projects needing post-production. Everyone wanted their movies and series finished on time to release everything at once, but there aren't enough visual effects artists to handle such a load, so several projects were left half-finished. I don't want to freak you out, but this isn't over. The same thing is happening right now after the strikes. Deadpool and Wolverine is going to be the first MCU project since 2021 that wasn't affected by the pandemic, but the movie had to go through the actors and writers strike. The trailers look good, but we'll have to wait until the movie releases on theaters to see if the effects are well done or if they look like this.
Disgusting.
And we have the fourth reason, something often underestimated but very important. It seems like a cheap excuse, but Joanna Robinson revealed an interview with Chadwick Boseman that clarifies everything. Chadwick told me the story about how, on the set of Endgame, he and Brie Larson and Tom Holland sat around and talked about how they were the future of Marvel and how exciting that was for them.
What does that mean?
This means that since before 2018, when
Oh yeah, I think like they're probably like, I think they were probably gonna have like stuff planned out with Black Panther, but like I think Boseman passing like probably changed some stuff. Tom Holland, like, I think like he's a gay character. The problem is like the story wasn't like pretty good until like No Way Home, which that's when like people are like, oh, this is actually Spider-Man. And Brie Larson, yeah, I don't know if them like every movie after like she wasn't like really like up there, so like I doubt that she was a future. So I think like basically after Endgame, they didn't have like another. There wasn't like hope for the franchise, cause like basically all the good, like the fan favorite characters, that were gonna be like disappear. So like, for example, like I think like Chris Evans contract was gonna expire. Who else? Yeah, Robert Downey Jr. was gonna expire. Yeah, some of them, I think like, if I remember, I think I remember like the guy, let's just say, I forgot like the one that played like, Hawkeye. Sorry, may I forgot his name. I usually don't like look into stuff like this, but like he was, I think the 8 incident I had with him, but he ended up like losing like legs, so I don't think like he was probably gonna be coming back. So like I don't think like Marvel had any. Yeah, it's probably like bad luck Also, another thing nobody probably talks about. So, like, you know, I think it's probably due to like some other reason, like some bad movies. It's probably like some movie were like really bad. It's probably like basically hiring like kid directors or some movie, like some characters, obscure characters. Like for example, I think if I remember the girl that they closed out, I think that story, like she did like Eternal. Like if you actually look into her history, like she only did like 2 movies, so and then like 2 indie movies, and then I don't know where began to do like a blockbuster budget movie. It felt kind of weird. That's like, why you bring this one guy, one girl who's probably like never done like this like type blockbuster type of movie, like someone who did like indies and then now doing like blockbuster out of nowhere. So I think like probably most of the movies nowadays, they're probably like during what is it? Comedy contest. So like that's probably like what's happening nowadays, where like they just bring like some like do like was probably like not that expensive, and then like calling like for diversity, and like all just so like save money, and then like in the middle you have your own people basically produce the movie. Like, because I think if I remember, like when you're like a small director, I think I heard of mine. Someone said that when like you're like a small director, like you don't have a lot of like power in filming. So maybe that's why like most of the movies are like big, like corporized.
Endgame started filming, Marvel already planned to replace Iron Man, Thor, and Captain America with Spider-Man, Black Panther, and Captain Marvel. That was going to be the new MCU Trinity, the new
Oh, that's bad.
with
Now
Spider-Man,
you
Black
see,
Panther, and Captain Marvel. That was going to be the new MCU.
so let's see. So Black Panther, the actor passed away, so I don't know if they're back out. Nah, I don't know if they're gonna bring the character back. Captain Marvel, like she's like really unpopular. I mean, probably they're still gonna do some stuff with her. I think probably like it's gonna do well if they do like a movie is like really like really good. But it's like when the first and the second movies are like pretty bad, like crap. Like you're not gonna be able, you're not gonna stay like to watch the third one. And Spider-Man, I think like it's gonna be okay. So I don't know how he's gonna go in the future, because I think I remember like so much. Like there was an article saying that Tom Holland didn't want to do like Spider-Man for like too long, and I don't know about that.
New Trinity, the new saga post-Endgame, was going to have clear protagonists, and it made sense for them to be the chosen ones. Spider-Man is the most popular superhero in the world. Black Panther became an icon, mainly in the United States, and his movie surpassed 1 billion. And Captain Marvel is one of the most important female characters in Marvel Comics, and her solo movie also surpassed 1 billion. Money, 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 money. We have to consider this was years before the Marvels flopped, and Kevin Feige and his fellas don't have a time machine as far.
Yeah, I think we're probably like, no, I don't know. Yeah, no, I think like if you actually like look into the director, like I think like she also has the director for Marvels. Like she also like produced like 2 movies, and then like now he's like they're making like a big budget movie. It's kind of like saying like you kind of like it's like you putting too much. No, I got it. So it's like basically like I think I read online that the lady like she produced like 2 movies, and then like after the like I think they're both okay, like, and then have her like make a big blockbuster movie. Yeah, they're kind of bad in a way, and also having her like, because I think that would probably mean that like a movie that's mostly made by comedy.
Far as we know, Marvel's plan was clear. Use these 3 characters as the face of the MCU in Phase 4, form a new group of Avengers, and wait until Phase 5 or 6 to introduce the Fantastic Four and the X-Men. I bet the monetization of this video that in 2018, they didn't even plan to adapt Secret Wars. They weren't going to make a soft reboot to bring back Iron Man and Captain America, because they wouldn't need them. They already had their replacements. The plan was good, but things happened along the way. In 2019, Marvel and Sony had problems with their agreement to use Spider-Man. Seeing that the new Spider-Man movies were a huge box office success, Sony wanted to bring the character to their universe.
Oh yeah, there's also that the thing like the issue and I think I remember it. I don't know what was the I don't remember what was the result of it. But I think they're probably still making Spider-Man movies, but who knows? So like, this could actually happen again, some point. Who knows?
Pulling him out of the MCU and separating him from the Avengers. Peter Parker's last appearance in the MCU was going to be Far From Home, but both studios reached a last-minute agreement, and these negotiations became an anecdote. But it wasn't so simple. After this happened, Marvel Studios realized Spider-Man couldn't be the face of their universe, because they would always depend on Sony, the studio that owns the character's rights.
Yeah, that's what I said. It could technically happen again. Like the whole give up with Sony and Marvel. It can end up happening again. And I think this is what fun like right after like buying what is it called? Us. So it's not like they could just go out of the way to like buy Sony, because they could just basically get in trouble. But I think they probably Marvel might have like a chance from this, because most of the Marvel movie made by Sonic hasn't been doing so well. So there might be a chance Marvel could get the rights for Spider-Man. Because I think if I remember, Raven didn't do well. I don't know what else. Madam Web definitely didn't do well. Bannon was okay. Yeah, I got 3 movies, but they were like okay. They weren't like that bad. But that's what I'm saying is probably gonna happen in the future. As I'm guessing at some point, they're not gonna be. They're probably gonna either out and the women and have them make their own Spider-Man movie, or will basically sell the rights back to Marvel. Probably for like a big price or something like that. Who knows? This is my opinion. It could happen, it could not. Or maybe it won't.
And this was only the beginning. After Endgame premiered, Marvel also realized fans didn't accept Carol Danvers. They didn't want to see her anywhere, let alone as Thor's replacement.
Yeah, I think like the thing with Carol Danvers, I think the issue with her, like, he wasn't like, because I think like he wasn't that popular outside, like the actress. Yeah. And like also like the first movie didn't do well. The second movie did worse. And the so like I don't know, it's gonna be like for her like in the very good in the long run. I mean, she might appear here and there, but I think this is something I think they should have not done. I think they should at least have Gerald Miss Marvel, though. Yeah, the other guy, not the original Miss Marvel. You know, like probably like after like the second movie, instead of making like, and then like from there, like we have a reason. Cause like I find it weird, like oh like this character had never been there, and then only appears like during the game, and now starting here like and now all of a sudden she's like really popular. So yeah, I found it like that was me rambling. It's mostly my opinion, so like if you disagree, that's fine. That's
And
nuts.
in August 2020, Chadwick Boseman passed away, and it was too soon to recast T'Challa. The plan for the new Trinity went down the drain, and not due to poor planning or incompetence. They had bad luck, and I know what you're gonna say, that they had enough time to make a change. Seeing the success of Loki, why didn't they make him one of the new saga's protagonists?
And I don't think like I don't know about Loki. I think like him as a main like contender, like in the fourth fight. I don't know if he's gonna be like, cause like for me Loki, like if you're gonna do like anything, Loki doesn't feel like a character is gonna be like in the forefront of that story. So it wouldn't make sense to have him like as one of the has a leading role as a, also I think like he's probably more of a anti-hero nowadays than as a hero. So it would not make sense to like have Loki like appear as like a main character.
People would have loved it. It's more complicated than that. Before the series aired on Disney Plus, a lot of people weren't keen on this version of Loki. I remember reading comments from fans saying that it didn't make sense to watch the series because the real Loki had died, and this was going to be pure filler or a bad retcon.
Forget it. If I don't want to see him, I don't want him.
Those comments disappeared after the first episode, but Marvel knew from the start that no everyone would be convinced, so they couldn't risk giving Loki such an important role. And once the first season ended and everyone screamed from the rooftops that they loved the character, it was too late. The series finished airing in mid-2021 when Marvel was already producing other projects. They didn't have time to include him in Doctor Strange 2, not even in Love and Thunder, because both movies had already been filmed by then. But what about Deadpool? There's a chance Deadpool and Wolverine...
Or like Deadpool, I don't see him as a like main contender, cause like if you can having like Deadpool, like it's gonna be like really annoying. Like yeah, he could appear, but like as a like main contender, like appear like in the front. Yeah, that would not like happen at all. Oh, I think this was a really good video by
may save Marvel. I tell you all about it in this video.
Well, this is a really good video by Mr. Headgaden. I think it's like made like 8 months ago, but that's fine. But like I think it's like I would say just watch his video and like. Alright guys, thank you for enjoying this video. Hope you guys enjoy. Just hope you guys enjoy this video and make sure to like and subscribe. Bye!